Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tracking the pulse of a nation that's quite literally survived ancient empires, outlasted legendary kings, and remains an absolute massive headline maker today: Iran. When we look at global events, it's so easy to just focus on the immediate here and now. But to truly grasp the complex dynamics of today's geopolitical landscape, we really have to dig into the deep, ancient roots that are still actively feeding it.
I mean, think about it. What if one ancient civilization still shaped politics today? It's a fascinating thought, right? Because we aren't just looking at some dusty history book here. We're looking at the story of a living, breathing nation whose past directly informs its modern geopolitical moves. From the mighty Persian Empire of antiquity all the way to the Islamic Republic we see on the news today, this is a protagonist that has continuously evolved to remain entirely relevant right now. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the birth of Persia. To really get this story, we've got to wind the clock back more than 2,500 years to meet our first major character, Cyrus the Great. Now, Cyrus wasn't your average ancient conqueror. He established an absolutely massive empire stretching across Asia, Africa, and Europe. But what truly defined him was his approach to leadership. While other ancient rulers routinely burned conquered cities to the ground, Cyrus took a totally different path. He famously freed enslaved peoples, like the Jewish population in Babylon, and even let them return home to rebuild their temples. So instead of outright destruction, he built a vast, wealthy civilization on a foundation of integration and respect for local cultures.
And if you want proof, just look at the Cyrus cylinder. Discovered in the ruins of Babylon and covered in ancient cuneiform, historians widely consider this clay cylinder to be one of the earliest declarations of human rights in history. It vividly captures this civilization's early commitment to tolerance and freedom. I mean, these are ideas we're still fiercely debating today, and here is this nation setting global precedents millennia ago.
Then his successor, Darius the Great, pushed things even further. He gave the growing nation immense wealth and structure, turning ancient Persia into one of the world's richest, most advanced civilizations. They built magnificent cities and extensive roads. And get this, Darius established an incredibly efficient postal system, connecting millions of people across the empire. His careers were so relentless that the famous modern phrase, neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night, actually originally described those ancient Persian postal writers, way before it had anything to do with modern mail.
Moving right along to Section 2, from empires to modern Iran.
Now, any main character goes through trials, and over a span of 2 millennia, this nation endured centuries of dramatic shifts and invasions. Just looking at the sheer compression of this timeline is wild. You've got Alexander the Great defeating the Persian Empire in 330 BC. Then over the centuries, the region was swept by Arab, Mongol, and Turkic rulers. But here's where that Persian resilience really shines. They absorbed elements of these invaders while fiercely holding on to their own distinct language and culture. Fast forward to the 16th century, and the Safavid dynasty establishes Shia Islam as the official religion, which fundamentally shapes the nation's core identity today. Then, in 1935, Persia is officially recognized internationally as Iran, leading us right into the monumental shift of the 1979 Iranian Revolution. When we drill down into that deeply volatile 20th century history, we neutrally see a nation being pulled violently in completely different directions. On one side, you had this rapid modernization under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. We're talking glittering Western-style palaces and massive industrial pushes. But on the flip side, this era alienated many traditional, everyday citizens who felt totally left behind by all these rapid cultural and economic shifts. That deep human friction ultimately culminated in the 1979 revolution, which overthrew the monarchy to establish the Islamic Republic, fundamentally altering the entire political landscape. Which brings us to Section 3, the reality of today. Today, Iran is a formidable nation of around 90 million people. And guys, this isn't just a number. It represents a deeply historic but incredibly young demographic. Picture bustling, vibrant bazaars sitting right alongside booming tech hubs in Tehran. You've got young people surfing the internet and navigating intensely modern lives right alongside ancient traditions. Factor in that they sit on some of the absolute largest reserves of oil and natural gas in the world, and this immense human capital and natural wealth makes Iran an unavoidable heavyweight in the global economy. But we have to recognize that everyday life in modern Iran is defined by a highly complex duality. On one hand, you see remarkable domestic progress. Despite immense external pressure, they've made huge strides in science, engineering, medicine, and even space technology.
But you have to contrast that with the daily struggles. It's a reality where an engineer might be working on cutting-edge satellite tech during the day, but goes home and struggles to afford basic groceries due to crushing hyperinflation, unemployment, and intense economic sanctions. It really is a nation of incredible human resilience facing tremendous internal and external hurdles. And from a strictly objective standpoint, Iran's current geopolitical dynamics put it dead center on the global stage. Its highly scrutinized relationships, especially with countries like the United States and Israel, don't just affect the Middle East, they actively influence modern global politics as a whole. The diplomatic, military, and economic decisions made in Tehran ripple continuously outward, directly impacting global security, international trade, and diplomacy every single day. So, what's next? Let's look at Section 4, Writing the Next Chapter. The building blocks for the next era are absolutely undeniable. Iran's potential to become a major economic powerhouse lies squarely in its people and its land. You've got this young, rapidly growing population paired with a highly educated workforce. Add in those rich natural resources we talked about, and put it all in a highly strategic geographic location that has literally connected the East and West for millennia. The raw materials for a prosperous future are completely there. But for Iran to actually unlock this future, it has to navigate a really complex web. The path forward means balancing necessary international diplomacy and global cooperation with ongoing economic and political reforms at home. It means taking the energy of those bright young minds and channeling it into fostering technological innovation and embracing things like renewable energy. These are the crucial steps that will dictate whether Iran can fully harness its potential in the 21st century. Nobody can predict exactly what's going to happen next, but one thing is absolutely for sure. Iran's story is far from over. It survived empires, wars, revolutions, and centuries of relentless change. Its past is extraordinary, and its present is incredibly complex. Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. As this ancient and resilient character writes its next chapter, how will it continue to shape our shared global future? Thanks so much for exploring this explainer with me today. Keep asking questions and keep exploring.